Hi folks, welcome back to another exciting installment of Ultrasonic Cleaning. Today we are going to be testing out the CT14. This is a alkaline solution, has sodium hydroxide in it in a very small mix. Reading the directions, it's saying to aim for something like 1 to 20 for light degreasing and about 1 to 10 for heavy degreasing. So in this mix in here that I've prepared, I've put about 100 ml into 2 litres of water. We're currently on 41 degrees there. I do have the heater on. So we'll give this a run. We're going to keep an eye on it because we are going to be putting some aluminium in there, and sodium hydroxide is not so good for aluminium. If you forget about it, it can cause pitting and dissolve the aluminium, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to play it safe. I've just got some brake mounts, I suppose you'd call them. I'm not sure what they're actually called technically, not the bits that the calipers hang off. I'm also going to have a play around with an old worn out Bendix cover here off the gas just to see what it can do. I'm thinking about trying to get this one sending it off to my dad to do a bit of machining to see if he can get some bushes in there for me, so I might be able to reuse this, so we'll try and get that clean as well. Okay, so I've chucked a few bits here in the basket. Some are a bit cleaner than others, but we'll see how we go. I always try and put the dirty side down, so you can see with that Bendix cover, it's definitely dirtier inside here, so we'll put that side down. And drop this in. We're not quite up to temperature yet, but that's alright, we'll see how it goes. And up the time a little bit here. Give it, say, 10 minutes to start off with. 43 degrees, that's still heating, and we'll see what we can do. Get ready for the horrible noise. Okay, moment of truth. That's 10 minutes at 20 to 1 with the CT14 there. What have we got? Well, looking pretty grubby in there. Can't see the parts at all anymore. I'll just pull out the little tray. Let's see what we've got. So, I haven't touched any of this stuff yet. Some of this stuff's looking a little bit cleaner already. Still a little bit of grime in on there. Yeah, interesting. I'm going to give this stuff a quick rinse off and maybe a little touch with a wire brush or something. Maybe not even wire brush, we'll start with just a bit of Scotch-Brite. Some bits look quite clean. The end of that pin there is looking pretty good. I can obviously adjust the mix rate here. We're using just a fairly low mix, 20 to 1 at the moment, so we might have to up that a little bit. But I'd rather start off slowly than dissolve parts in my parts washer. So yeah, I'll give this a quick rinse and we'll see where we're at. Back in a sec. Okay, I've given all this stuff a quick rinse off now. We still definitely have some grease and grime in a few of the spots. Interestingly enough, this bit of aluminium here is looking quite nice and shiny straight up, so I suspect the sodium hydroxide is doing a little bit there. This is still looking pretty crappy. So I am going to stick another 100 mils in there, so that'll bring us up to 10 to 1. We'll give it another 15 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we'll see how we're going then. Talk to you in a sec. Okay, so we're at a 10 to 1 mix now with the CT14. Dump this back in there. We're still on about 47 degrees or so, so hovering around the 50 degree mark. Well, that's interesting, you can go backwards, I didn't know that. 15 minutes and see what we get then. This video today is also brought to you by Cooper's Brewery Original Pale Ale. Only the best. Rightio. 15 minutes in, 10 to 1. This is after the initial 10 minutes as well. Water's looking pretty mucky. And what have we got in here? Well, it doesn't look like we've got any damage to anything yet, which is good. This little doohlacky's coming up very nice and shiny. Again, I'll go and give all this a quick rinse off and get back to you. 1 second. Okay, so I've given everything a quick rinse off. How are we going so far? Well, some of the clean surfaces are certainly coming up super shiny and very nice looking. This Bendix cover's still got a little bit of grease in there, but it had a pretty good coating to start off with. It's definitely slowly cutting it back, perhaps not as quick or as effective as I hoped. We definitely don't have any pitting or discoloration yet, but some of these parts are coming up really quite nice. It's obviously not taking everything off, but one thing I'm noticing is a lot of the threads and stuff are coming up super clean. And the other thing I'm noticing is that where I do find a bit of leftover dirt, it's only taking a quick little touch with a Scotch-Brite pad, and most of the stuff's coming straight off. This older bit here, that was very discoloured and quite grubby. It's still not perfect, but it's certainly coming up better. Some bits are working better than others. This little steel bracket here is coming up quite nice, surprisingly. And again, some of these cleaner surfaces are coming back to a very nice shine. The pins come up quite nice. Where it's a bit rusty, we've still got a bit of rust on there. I don't think it's going to take rust off steel as such. But it is still definitely working. Considering I'm really not doing much, it's a lot easier than sitting down trying to polish this stuff up by hand. So just in the interest of the experiment, most of this stuff I don't really mind what happens to, so we might push it to destruction levels almost. So we're running at 10 to 1 with the CT14. Which on the label is for heavy degreasing. It does also suggest for extremely heavy degreasing to actually mix it in at that rate with Kero, which might be another experiment we can do in the future. But I think I might just drop all this stuff back in for another half an hour and see what we end up with. I'm curious to see if I can push it to the point where we do start to get some destruction of the aluminium. But you know, this little guy here, it wasn't the grubbiest, but that's pretty much ready just to drop straight back in a bike. It's all nice and clean. And again, it's a hell of a lot easier than me messing around trying to scrub it up by hand in whatever else. So yeah, it does sort of work. Anyway, we'll give it a bit longer and see what happens. Okay, 30 minutes in. What do we got? Water's pretty mucky. Well, can't see anything super bad yet. Again, I'll go and give this stuff a quick rinse off. We'll come back and see where we're at. Okay, so we're up to close to an hour now in the ultrasonic cleaner. We're running at 10 to 1 with the CT14. What have we discovered? Well, interestingly enough, this part here has come up incredibly nicely. I really can't see any dirt as such. There's a little bit of discoloration here on the mounting face there, but even hitting that with Scotch-Brite isn't coming off, so I'm guessing that's not so much dirt. Down inside the locating pin hole there, it's a bit hard to see. Again, it's actually quite clean. Discoloration, but no dirt. The threads are beautiful. Some of these end bits here are quite shiny. I don't know if you recall, but this one here was actually really quite dark when I dropped it in. It's starting to come up a bit shinier, but in comparison to this other part, I would say this is starting to slightly dull off. So I'm guessing this is about at the limit, and the sodium hydroxide starting to affect the finish on that part. Whereas this one here still seems to be coming up better. They're actually quite comparable in colour now. This was very corroded and quite dark grey black, and it's actually starting to come up shiny. So I think that's quite interesting. Bendix cover again, pretty much all the grease and stuff is gone. Hasn't taken any paint off. There's still a little bit of discoloration here, and a little bit of muck down in that bottom recess there, but it is seeming that this process does make any extra dirt very easy to take off. Just a quick little light touch, but it is getting into all these difficult little spots that are hard to clean. We don't have any discoloration on this part yet, which is the Bendix cover off the gas, but that's certainly, with a quick wipe over with a rag, I'd say that's clean enough to drop in. Did have some steel bolts in here. They're actually coming up quite nice. They're a little bit discoloured, but no rust or anything like that. They're certainly a lot cleaner than what they were. I don't think the discoloration is really a problem with steel bolts. So yeah, look, so far I think that's working reasonably well considering the amount of effort I'm actually putting into it. This does seem like a bit of a long process, but essentially I'm just dropping this stuff into the solution and letting the machine do its work. So not perfect, but more perfect than me having to sit down and scrub the hell out of them with doing it all manually. So I might try a few other little bits and pieces this afternoon. I'm not sure how long this video is going to drag out for, but I might just show you some of the results when I get them done as I go. But I think this will be a relatively useful setup. I'm going to try a few more different solvents, I guess. I'd really like to, have it bubbling and smoking and stuff coming out absolutely brand new looking. But I don't really think that's feasible, particularly with aluminium. But anyway, it's a work in progress. I might leave that here for this video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to any of your friends that might be interested in this sort of stuff. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.